All right, it has been quite a while since I've done one of these videos. I keep procrastinating so much because I don't know, I spend too much time like working on these videos, editing them, especially when I like put those memes into the videos. So I'm debating whether or not I'll do the memes anymore, but I got a lot to get through for this video. So I'm gonna do it in sections where this video clip is going to focus on October to December of 2024. And the next video will focus on January through March of 2025. And then my third video will just be going over what has been, my third clip will be going over what's been going on in my personal life during these last 6 months. So it's going to be 3 different clips of videos, but I'm going to combine them all into one big one. And so that's what you're watching right now. So, dear grandson, I didn't even think of a name to dedicate this imaginary grandson video to. Let's just skip over the name. So October to December of 2024, and keep in mind today is Easter, 420 Easter. Apparently, 420 Easter is not going to happen again until like the year 2084 or something like that. So happy 420, happy Easter. So yeah, this is 420, Easter of 2025. I'm going to be going over right now October to December of last year. So this is, 3 to 6 months ago. So we were in this middle of the election year of all having these presidential debates. My first point is that Tim Walz was the vice president pick for Kamala Harris, and J.D. Vance was Trump's vice president pick. They had an extremely more civilized debate compared to the debate between Kamala and Trump. Okay, Iran fired 200 missiles at Israel, and it escalated the wars in the Middle East. Hurricane Milton hit the southeast part of the United States. I think it hit Florida first. And Hurricane Milton was a huge hurricane that hit only a few weeks after another big hurricane, Hurricane Helene, just wrecked the southeast part of the United States. Scientists, astronomy, planet Neptune just completed one full orbit around the sun since humans discovered it back in 1846. That's a really big loop that Neptune has. That's a really long year for Neptune around the sun. Anyways, North Korea sent thousands of troops to Russia, which they intended to be used against Ukraine. So Russia was making a lot of cool little deals with North Korea, and they're tight still. But keep in mind, this is news that has happened like 6 months ago. So a lot has happened since then. North Korea, it's a new United Nations report unveils that the world is on track to warm by 5.5 degrees Fahrenheit by the year 2100 or 2100. That is the 22nd. That's the beginning of the 22nd century. It would involve catastrophic changes to the world if the world warmed by 5.5 degrees in, 75 years from now? The Los Angeles Dodgers beat the New York Yankees in the World Series, and if I remember, so I think the Dodgers beat them pretty handily, but like the last game that they played in the World Series, the Yankees was winning by a lot, but then I think the Dodgers just had a crazy run streak, and they just blew the Yankees out of the water, even though the Yankees were ahead. So yeah, the Dodgers clinched the World Series victory. Trump won the presidential election. He blew out Kamala Harris. He won, I think, every single swing state. the Republicans also won back the Senate, and they kept control of the House of Representatives. So the Republicans have complete control over the government. They have the Senate, they have the House, and they have the presidential seat. And this is just foreboding and very ominous, but like obviously like it's been quite a lot since Trump's victory. It's been quite a lot. Anyways, I'm trying to get ahead of myself. It's been over 1,000 days since Russia invaded Ukraine. Ukraine started firing some of the US-supplied missiles into Russia for the first time, and this caused Vladimir Putin to make some nuclear threats for Ukraine finally using some, like, US-provided weapons or something. But that was a while ago. Trump planned on installing tariffs on Mexico and Canada and China, meaning that anything that we, the individual consumers, buy from those countries are more expensive for us because the companies have to buy it from those countries, and the companies aren't going to pay for the more expensive products out of their own pocket, so they're going to pass that down to us, the consumers. And this is also very just foreboding, but this is just the announcement that Trump planned on imposing those tariffs. In my next video, I'm probably going to talk about how crazy the world went when Trump finally imposed those tariffs. And then President Biden pardoned one of his last acts as acting president. President Biden pardoned his own son, Hunter. He was convicted of federal tax and gun crimes. Trump vowed to pardon the January 6 Capitol Hill rioters. A young man named Luigi Mangione killed the CEO of United Healthcare, and he didn't even have insurance with the company. When he assassinated that CEO, just tons of CEOs just across the country just got super fearful of like going out in public. And so that was a big uproar, like just that really mixed up it was a big story with the country for quite a while. Donald Trump was named Time Magazine's 2024 Person of the Year. At the end of the year, mysterious drone sightings have been occurring in 8 different states, and it caused so many strange conspiracy theories about whose drones they were. And I don't ever even think that most of those sightings ever fully got resolved, like where the drones came from. Supposedly, Trump wants to buy the country of Greenland to boost America's security. He also wants more control over the Panama Canal. And then finally, the 39th president of the United States, President Jimmy Carter, he died at 100 years old, and he died in his home. I think that was like 2 days before 2025. Like, he died right at the end of the year. In my personal life, so yeah, when near the end of this big clipped YouTube video, I'll be talking most about my personal life, but I will go over like the books and the cinema I consumed and the video games I consumed during October to December of 2024. So I think I started Game of Thrones, or maybe I didn't. No, I think I already started it, but I'm still reading Game of Thrones, Clash of Kings. It's the second book in the Game of Thrones series. And then I tried to dabble into astrophysics for People in a Hurry. By the way, here's the Game of Thrones book. It's probably backwards, but A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin. It's the second book in his series, A Song of Ice and Fire. Cinema I've been watching. I watched The Prestige. I watched The Butterfly Effect. I watched Arcane Season 2. And I watched Carry On, a new movie with Jason Bateman as a villain. I was very impressed. He was a very good villain. And then video games I played Slay the Spire and Hogwarts Legacy. I tried to get into The Witcher 3 again, but I quickly died out. But I finished Hogwarts Legacy, just one simple playthrough. I got kind of bored of it near the end. Slay the Spire is always a good game to revisit. It's a fun card game. And there's actually an announcement for a Slay the Spire 2, and I'm really excited about that. All right, that's going to be the end of this video, and then I'll see you soon in a different clip. Hello. It's almost a month after I recorded that last video. This procrastination is getting out of hand. But here we go. This is covering the months of January through March of 2025. At the very beginning of the year, wildfires wrecked the city of Los Angeles, and Hollywood. And then Trump renamed the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America. And I thought that was just one of the stupidest things he ever came up with. It's such a petty move, honestly. It's I don't think I will ever call it the Gulf of America. It'll always be the Gulf of Mexico. Scientists say that now 2024 is the hottest year for the Earth on record. TikTok got banned in the United States finally, and then after they were talking about it for a long time, and 12 hours later, the government just changed its mind and brought it back because America was kind of freaking out. Because TikTok, I think, is like the biggest social media platform in the United States, above Facebook and Instagram. Trump became the 47th president. He is now the oldest ever inaugurated, and he immediately pardoned all January 6 rioters, and he withdrew from the Paris Climate Agreement. It snowed heavily in the states of Texas, Florida, and other southern states, which was very strange. Probably some, global warming, weather patterns getting mixed up, or poles shifting, stuff like that. Soon after Trump's inauguration, a plane carrying 64 people collided into an Army helicopter while they were mid-flight in Washington, D.C. All people on both aircrafts died. And Trump and his administration blamed, DEI, just blaming people were air traffic controllers that shouldn't have been there because they weren't properly qualified or something. But they basically just blamed everything on Biden and DEI. And whenever anything has been going wrong since these first 4 months that Trump has been president, he just blames all the bad on Biden, and of course he takes credit for anything good that happens. Eggs are at record high prices. At the time I wrote this, they were about $7 for a dozen of eggs, and of course they got way higher and way worse for the states of California and other places. A privately funded aircraft just broke the sound barrier for the first time. I haven't heard much about this anymore, but Trump wanted to relocate Gaza citizens and turn the whole country into some kind of American tourist attraction. That was bizarre. We're getting so used to just the stupid, bizarre ideas that Trump spits out of his mouth, and it's yep, there's another one, and we don't really care. How is he president? How is he president? How is he president? Earth experienced its warmest January on record. The Philadelphia Eagles steamrolled over the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl, and so Eagles wrecked the Chiefs. The Chiefs were looking for a three-peat for the first time in history to win 3 Super Bowls in a row, and it was one of the saddest Super Bowls I've ever watched because the Chiefs didn't score a single point in the first half. They only got 1 first down in the first half, and they were getting destroyed, wrecked, annihilated. And I think Super Bowl day was the day that Trump officially signed, this is the Gulf, renamed the Gulf of Mexico to whatever his dipshit idea of. Trump imposed a 25% tariff on all aluminum and steel imports. Fun fact, I learned this a year or two ago. British people call aluminium. I just think that's funny. Because of the new tariffs on steel and aluminum, with the countries of Mexico and Canada and other countries, it raised the prices of new cars by over $12,000. Yikes. Elon Musk and his team, that are called Doge, I don't remember what Doge stands for. They were given permission by Trump to investigate and cut federal workers across all agencies, as well as accessing personal tax information at the IRS. It is a whole crazy deal of Elon Musk and his team of young goons just firing thousands of government officials and rehiring the essential ones because they've found out, oh, we probably shouldn't fire those guys because they're pretty essential to research. So it was a huge mess. Robert F. Kennedy is confirmed by the Senate. He was as Trump's new U.S. Health Secretary. YouTube Robert F. Kennedy moments. Is it Junior? I can't remember if it's Junior. It might be Junior. But his voice sounds like he's from Star Wars or something, and he's very anti-vaccines and thinks like every vaccine causes autism in kids. Zelensky, Trump, and J.D. Vance exploded in a meeting at the White House. Trump's administration seems to be siding more and more with Russia and like not really caring about Ukraine, but it was a whole... I was watching that video just feeling so much cringe, like, about the way Trump and Vance were treating President Zelensky, who is in a very rough spot, just his country getting decimated by Russia. And my least favorite part of that whole damn interview was like a Republican Trump kiss-ass reporter just making fun of Zelensky, just berating Zelensky. Why didn't you wear a suit? Why didn't you wear a suit? Why aren't you professional? And like he was just wearing like a black button-up shirt, and like he still looked professional, but he's like, you're not wearing a suit. It was so stupid. That's what got me pissed off the most. But that's not what they blew up about. Like, they just blew up at the end of the meeting, and Trump and Vance were talking over Zelensky, and it was embarrassing for America. 2 NASA astronauts finally returned to Earth after they were at the International Space Station for 9 months. Their original trip was meant to only last 8 days, but they ran into a bunch of technological malfunctional issues. Trump's working hard to dismantle the Department of Education, and I think he made significant progress in that, where they're just totally demolishing the Department of Education, and they're trying to move more of that power to the states. The Trump administration created a group chat texting war plans about bombing Yemen, and it accidentally included a journalist in the group chat. The journalist didn't think it was an authentic chat until Yemen was bombed, and then he released to the world, yeah, I got these text plans about the war plans, and I wasn't supposed to be there in that chat, and somehow my number got part of the group chat, and so the media had a field day with that one. And finally, Trump's party and the Republicans are trying to pull some strings where Trump will be able to run for a third term as a U.S. president, which is prohibited by the Constitution. Trump himself doesn't deny the possibility that he would try. Like, he just, whenever he's asked that question, he kind of skirts around the bush and says, oh, well, it might be a possibility. And he won't flat out say, no, I'm not going to run because it's prohibited by the Constitution. It's a nightmare what the Republican Party is coming up with right now. And like, yeah, the Democratic Democrat Party is in a mess too. All of politics right now is honestly so bizarre, crazy. It's mind-boggling, all the things that that are happening. Like, I just take it for granted now. It's like, oh, that's wild, and then, you know, we go to bed, and the next day happens. A couple days later, another wild thing happens. It's like, okay. Okay, and then I was still, during the months of January to March, I was still stuck on the same book, the Clash of Kings, Game of Thrones book. And I think that's really the only book no, maybe there's another one. I can't find it. It's not that one. Oh, well, the other book I think I started during that time was A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. And still, I'm only like halfway through chapter 2, but so far it was really good. And life has been pretty busy, but yeah, that's this video segment, and see you later for the third, part 3 soon. Hello. Let's finish this video series. It is June 15th, 2025. Happy Father's Day. For this portion of this huge ass video, I'll be going over the personal things in my life, you know, just kind of a summary of what happened for the 6 months that this video series is covering, which is October, November, December, January, February, March. Oh my god, and it's June. I'm kidding. Yeah. I'm going to have to go back to some old calendars to help me. October 24. So the last video, I just got out of the hospital in Bountiful for a mental health thing. And then still working at Amazon for the company called Innovative. We were in like West Valley, a station called DOT3. Life was really good there. And after the hospital in September, like, my friendships at work just kind of skyrocketed. I became better friends with Sayamalo, Leslie, Gus, Seth, Nick Stocks, Viv, Rochelle, Mercedes Santos, Bree, Jorge, Jeremy Ashby, who else? I think I already mentioned Jared. But like, the top friendships right now would probably be Jared, Sayu, Leslie, Gus, Veely. He's another critical one that I'll probably talk about him more coming up later. Lots of people, and I'm sorry if I forgot anybody, but in October, I was getting used to my new car that I purchased, the Toyota Corolla, and it's been treating me really good. Just been making monthly payments on it. Oh. In the beginning of November, I traveled to California to do a Beast Spartan race. Beast is a half marathon in length. Traveled all the way to Southern California. It was kind of a city, wine vineyard, orchard, ranch, a couple of hours outside of Los Angeles. Traveled there, stayed in hotels, did the race on my own, and then on the way back I visited the Vegas Strip for like 2 hours, and then I stayed the night at my Aunt Susan's in St. George, and that was fun to get to know Aunt Susan for the first time. And I don't think I ever talked to her, and so it was cool to connect with a relative from my mom's side, my mom's sister. Aunt Susan is a very spicy, fun lady. I hope to be able to see her and talk to her again sometime. November. Thanksgiving, I think I just did on my own. I'm pretty sure I just did quesadillas, homemade quesadillas. December, I just worked. I think I picked up a lot of 6 days, and so I made a lot of overtime at work. And then Christmas was just a really special day where my friend from Innovative, Sayumalo, he spent a lot of Christmas with me, and we stayed up late just talking about life, about all sorts of different things. And he brought over whiskey, 2 types of whiskey, like some kind of Crown and some kind of peanut butter whiskey. And I think that was my first time really trying whiskey, and it was just fun to spend a part of Christmas with him, and he was just a really good friend in doing that special Christmas day for me. That was my first Christmas ever that I didn't spend alone or with family. I guess, my mission, I spend it with companions and friends on the mission, but I didn't really count that. So this was my first Christmas, spent with like a friend, and it was really cool. And then 2025 came. Hooray! Happy New Year's. Let me go to this calendar. On New Year's Day, I went ice skating with the same friend, Sayamalu, and also Leslie. It's been a while since we went ice skating. My new calendar is owls. Yeah, I don't remember anything major happening in January. February. Lots of birthdays February. So a birthday in January was Jared, but in February there was my brother Kyle's birthday, Leslie's birthday, the Super Bowl, Rosanna's birthday on Valentine's Day, Nick Stock's birthday, Sayu's birthday after his, Rochelle's birthday, George Washington's birthday. February is a popular birthday month. During this time, I went to, taco nights often with Jared. Jared was at one of the 2 of those nights. Went to taco nights a lot at a place called Rancheritos near my place of work, and I hung out with Jeremy and Gus and Jared and Leslie and Rochelle and Viv and a couple other people over the course of a couple of nights. It was really fun building this little tradition of going to taco nights and talking about all sorts of different things. Sometimes we played like Nintendo Switch games or card games. Yeah, we played Cover Your Assets once, I think, there. It was a really good time. Yeah, so that was the month of February. Lended out a lot of books to people that I wrote down on this calendar that I need to start trying to get back. Okay, and then for the final month of March, March was a really special, big month of my life. At the beginning of this month, this was the month I got really close to Leslie, and we began, like, there's a lot that I could say, but for YouTube purposes, I'm just going to keep a lot of it very sacred. But we just got very close, physically, spiritually, deeply connected, and she was just an amazing person in my life during that time. And I also flew home to Arizona to visit my family, and during that visit, my mind entered a state of manic schizophrenia again, and it only lasted for like 2 days, but I was hospitalized again and got a hefty hospital bill from it. And during that time, I was still like dating Leslie. Came back from Arizona, continued dating Leslie for that whole month. It was really special. You could tell I'm really got a lot on my mind over it. To future Kevin, if you know, you know. I mean, of course you know future Kevin. Oh boy. Yeah, I think we broke up. I mean, I know we broke up like the next month, and maybe that'll be something for the next video. But during that whole month, we were kind of like dating together, and it was really special. But I was still developing some really good friendships at work. And then, yeah, that month of March was our last month at DUT3 in West Valley. On April 1st, April Fool's Day, our team moved to DUT7. And so this is a topic for another video, but it just kind of disrupted the whole team with that move. And so the month of March of 2025 was just the last really special month of my life. And yeah. So yeah, April, May, and June, I'll try to go over in a different video. And at the end of this month, I'll be actually moving from my place here in Salt Lake City near Liberty Park to a new home in Cottonwood Heights. Kind of excited for that move. It'll be a new adventure, and I'll give a really quick tour of this house that I'm going to miss dearly for the end of this video. And other things that have been going on in my life, oh yeah, just hip pain that kind of progressively got worse, and work isn't helping it. And then obviously, and I'm trying to do some physical therapy for it, trying to do some more stretching, take better care of my posture, my body, my walking. And just these last 2 nights, that hip pain kind of transitioned into some lower back pain that I hope will not persist. But yeah, I'm 28 years old, and this hip pain and lower back pain is kind of scaring me. Oh my God, and how did I forget this? Vili was offered to share his resources with me about day trading. And so these last months, starting in February, I got big into day trading, about learning some strategies, about how to scalp day trade, which means you're in and out of the stock market for anywhere from seconds to minutes to no more than like 20 to 30 minutes. But I'm learning scalping, day trading with options, and also with futures. And I lost like $300, made like $400, and I was in profit. And then this last week I just tanked, and I think I lost $500. So things are not going so well right now, but I am determined to succeed, because I see this community called the UET community They're having so much success, and this mentor, he's just really solid. I was sold. I've watched so many hours of content from him, and I'm pretty sold that he knows what he's doing. You'll obviously lose all the time in day trading, but as long as you keep your wins a lot bigger, I could go on and on and on about this. Maybe in a future video I'll do one specifically for day trading, but these past few months I've been studying and learning a lot of day trading. So just a whole lot of things happening in my life at the same time, with my company having a hard transition time. I'm learning day trading. I had about a month of dating Leslie, and just kind of a crazy period of my life right now. And the books that I've been reading are the Game of Thrones series, A Song of Ice and Fire by George R.R. Martin. I was stuck on the first and second book for quite a while, this blue and this yellow, and I'm currently on this one. And I started this less than a month ago, and I'm flying through it. But these two, I took months for each one to just slowly trudge through. But I'm determined to be on a good reading streak right now. Whoops. I packed away my video games for now in preparation for the move, but hopefully they can be packed away for a while. Oh yeah, and I got addicted to Fortnite for a month, but that was the month of April. But yeah, Fortnite is not a good game. That thing is of the devil. Oh, well, this video felt kind of rushed, but it's hard to fit so much things that happened in such a small period of, in a small short video. So time to say goodbye to this room, because yeah, in the next video I will be at a new place. Time to say goodbye to this amazing apartment. I'm gonna miss it. So here's my room. That's my desk. Time to hang my calendar back up. What is this? May, June. We're back in the month of June. Okay. Oh. My bed. My whiteboards. Harry Potter. Lord of the Rings sword. Harry Potter poster. Whiteboard. That's a Rick and Morty poster. Whoops. What just fell? A marker, I think. Some kind of Japanese art, I think. Whiteboard. Yep. I'll miss this tiny room for sure. Oh yeah, my bookshelf up here, kind of a mess. And oh, the memories, oh, the memories. I even want to show this bathroom. It's just one of my favorite bathrooms because it's a pretty big, spacious one. Oh, how many thousands of times I've been up and down this staircase. I lived here for about 2 years, almost 2 years I've lived in this house. Got the stove, got a sink, beautiful window, lots of cooking with everything in here. Here's the living room and some roommate bedrooms and bathroom. Here's my one wheel. Growing my plants. Tomatoes and I think peppers. Like those ones might be peppers. Those ones are also tomatoes. Those ones are, yeah, sweet banana peppers. That is one cilantro, I think. Oh, and I'm gonna miss this front yard. So many squirrels live in these trees. There's my car. Still haven't named it. Named her. Yep, there's the front. It's a duplex. This side lives a bunch of college girls. So one side of the duplex is boys, one side is girls. Here's this garage that I had for the last 2 years. Still got that bike from my mission that I used at college. And then here's my e-bike that I've been riding about one day of every week to work. And I got a battery already in there, and that's charging, and then I just barely charged this battery. So I got 2 batteries for it. Fun e-bike. And the last thing I wanted to show you is this little recreational area that I like to come out and read my book in this little grass area right here. Sometimes there's a black cat that visits this house and neighborhood, and last week I read my book like right there in that area, and the cat was just chilling in those trees right there. So I wish I made a little bit better use of this recreational area, like making some fire barbecues and just trying to cook more out here and hang out here with people. But I did once a year ago with the new neighbors. We had a little potluck. And anyways, this is where I lived the last 2 years. It was good. And finally finished this video series for the last 3 months of 2024 and the first 3 months of 2025, and I'll owe another video soon for April, May, and June, because June's almost done already, and I'm getting so bad at procrastinating making these videos. This is a long one. Sorry about that, but yeah. Okay, it's hard for me to say goodbye for this video. Okay, bye.